Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Alison, the online piano and online violin tutor. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about three mistakes that newbie violinists make. So before we do go any further with this video, I just want to welcome all my new subscribers and anybody that is new to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. But for those of you that are new and do not know, I have a 1 to 30 violin course. I just very quickly just want to grab your attention and tell you about that, because I know how hard it is to learn to play the violin and you don't know where to start. You go into Google or YouTube and you type in how to play the violin and you get reams of videos that come up all trying to tell you how to play the violin. But then you'll go and watch that video, it'll tell you one thing, you'll go and watch another video, it'll tell you something else, and then you can end up getting a little bit confused because you're not following a methodology, you're not following a proper course, and you're just scattergunning, and then you end up, then searching individual videos to kind of overcome the problems. Whereas if you follow a structured course and follow someone that is teaching a properly manufactured and structured course, like myself, then you're not going to encounter so many problems and having to kind of go around all the internet and hunt those videos down. So if I can just grab your attention for the next 1 to 2 minutes, and if you could just indulge me, then I just wanted to quickly tell you about my 1 to 30 violin course. And obviously don't forget, the best part of my 1 to 30 violin course is that the first 10 lessons, all the resources and everything you need that goes with the first 10 lessons is absolutely free. So you can try before you buy, you can try the first 10 lessons before you pay any money out to my course to see if you like it, see if the way I teach, see how you get on in the first 10 lessons. But I guarantee you will be coming back for more and you will be buying the rest of the course, because it really is a fantastic course, an accumulation of 25 years of private teaching. So my 1 to 30 violin course is a fully comprehensive and professional course that guarantees to take you from a complete beginner to an accomplished intermediate level by the end of it. The course is very simple and is very easy to understand without the commitment of an in-person tutor, but it guarantees to give you the same level of skill that you would actually get from a private tutor. The lessons are easy to follow with videos that accompaniment, and you don't need any prior knowledge of music, as the course has been designed that anyone of any age and level can follow it. The course covers everything from how to hold the bow and the violin, how to read music, technical exercises to improve your skill and dexterity, music theory, bowing exercises, more complex pieces, and so much more. There really is no other course like this available on the internet worldwide, and the results and reviews do speak for themselves. My course will take you from this and at the end of it, I guarantee you'll be playing like this. The course is fully downloadable worldwide and is available from my shop at www.amsmusicshop.com, and it is priced at a one-time fee of $59.99 US. So as soon as you purchase, you can get started straight away. All you will need before you start is your violin and enthusiasm. And very quickly, just before we do jump into the rest of the video, I just want to mention my Patreon site that I have and my own website subscription site. They're both exactly the same. It's kind of either or. They're both priced at $10 a month. You both get access to, I think it's around about 800 sheets of violin music that have just been accumulated on my channel over the last kind of 10-11 years that I've been on here. You'll also get access to violin backing tracks, easy piano music. There's some private blogs that are there, a community forum. There's lots of things available on both Patreon and my website subscription. But as I say, both are at the same price. I'll put some details underneath so you can have a look and get more information. But it is one of, if not the only place on the internet that you can get access for literally so much violin music for such a small amount of money. Okay, just 3 very simple, very quick and easy mistakes that I think new violinists always make. And the first one is playing on cheaper equipment. There's a lot of controversy about this, and I'm not going to get too much into detail. I'm not going to get on my soapbox too much about it. You know, but if you go and watch other channels that are similar to mine, everybody says exactly the same thing. Do not buy a cheap instrument. You know, sure, you know, I've said this in the past, and, you know, people always hit out at me and say, you know, there's nothing wrong with them and we can't afford them. Sure, I appreciate that, but it's those instruments really are more detrimental to your playing. And the people that make comments on my channel the most saying that this isn't right, that isn't right, they can't do this, they can't do that, they're playing on those cheap violins. So people can't tune them because they've got cheap violins. The peg boxes won't work, so they can't tune them. If you can't tune your violin to start with, you can't even get out the starting gates. You're not even going to be able to play the violin because you can't tune it to start with. Another classic one is that they keep hitting all the other strings. That's because the cheaper violins, the $50 violins, $60 violins, whatever, they come with flat bridges that you're then supposed to sand down. You have to thin them down. You have to sand them down. You've got to do a lot of work. You've got to do the kind of work a violin luthier earns money doing and spends years and decades learning how to do. You've got to do that before you even play the instrument. So of course you're going to be hitting all the other strings, no matter how many videos you watch on hitting strings, how not to hit strings. It doesn't matter because you're not playing on the right instrument in the first place. So I would personally, I would say you want to be looking at about $250, maybe $200 at a stretch. The Fiddlerman or the fiddlershop.com does some really good violins. I'm not affiliated with them but in any way at all, but I know they have sent me a lot of their violins previously and I've reviewed every single one of them. I'll leave his playlist underneath, but they're really good violins. There's a violin for everyone, sound, quality, budget, what have you. They are the lowest I would go in violins. So they're the cheaper violins that they have, the more student quality violins that they have. Obviously they do really expensive ones as well, but I'm talking the kind of the cheaper student quality violins that they have. They are as low as I would recommend you go. And yes, that may well be $250, $200, but if you're going to spend your time and effort and everything learning to play an instrument, which is incredibly labor intensive. Honestly, it's, you know, we spend years perfecting this to be able to, you know, play how we want to play and do what we want to do. It's not a 5 minutes thing. It's years, it's decades of dedication. Anyone will tell you that. And as soon as you start playing the violin, you will know how difficult it is as well. And you're kind of disrespecting that in a way by expecting to do that on a $50 violin. Do you sort of see what I mean? So anyway, enough of that. Don't buy a cheap violin. It will hinder you. You won't be able to tune it. You'll have trouble tuning it. It will be heavy. It will be very uncomfortable. You won't be able to even just get the right setup because of all those things that are getting in the way. And also the bridge will likely be too straight as well, so you won't be able to single out any strings. So your playing is going to be awful, you're going to give up, you cannot progress, etc, etc. The list kind of goes on. So moving on, number Number two, not practicing well enough. So this practicing is kind of a whole video kind of on its own, but I feel practicing, a lot of people just don't know how to practice. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that, but a lot of people don't know how to practice. This is how people think their practice sessions should go. They will play a piece through from start to finish, and they'll be like, yeah, that was all right. And then they'll play the piece through from start to finish again. Maybe if you're lucky, they'll play it through a third time, and then that's it. They'll either stop playing, put the violin away, or move on to something else that they're working on. That is not practice. That to me is just keeping that piece stable at that level. You're not actually practicing. Practicing would be, for example, you're playing a piece of music and you get to bar 5 or measure 5 and you make a mistake. You instantly stop what you're doing, go back over that bar and work out what you did. Do not go back to the beginning. Biggest mistake, number 1 as well. But don't go back to the beginning. Go back to that bar, focus in what it was that you made a mistake on, and play it 20 to 50 times over. Now you might be sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to be playing 6 notes 20 to 50 times over. Well, yes, I've got news for you. That is practice. You should hear some of the professionals practice. You might think it's very interesting to see how professionals practice, and I've seen a few people on YouTube, a few professionals and a few other people, sort of similar channels to me, and they show you their practice. But I can assure you it's not quite like that. That is it's kind of curated for the video to make them part entertainment purposes as well. But when you actually see a professional practice, you wouldn't want to be there for any more than just a few minutes, because it is so boring. It doesn't really make sense. You can't really work out what they're doing. They obviously know what they're doing. But suffice to say that practice is the biggest, after playing on cheap equipment, it's the second mistake that people make. So just really not tuning in to what you are playing and really going over it. So many people just gloss over things and move on, and then wonder why they keep repeating that mistake. And then you get to the point where you think that mistake is actually what it should be, and then that mistake becomes, reality. That mistake becomes normal to you. And the third mistake that newbie violinists always make is not focusing on the bow or the sound. So that comes down to, a lot of it comes down to actually placement, but a lot of it is down to basics on how you're holding the violin. There's no point in having the violin out to the front, having it down here and just wondering what the bow is doing. So a lot of it is just basic posture. And I go on about this all the time in my videos, to the point where you guys just must be sick of hearing the same thing. But it's true, because if you don't have the right posture, i.e. your violin isn't in the right place, so it isn't out to sort of, between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, it isn't up flat, we don't want it up here, we don't want it down there, our bow isn't nice and round, if everything just isn't right here, then again, you're not going to get any kind of sound at all. If you're doing all this kind of thing and then you're trying to work on the quality of sound, you're fighting a losing battle again, because you haven't got your basics and fundamentals. So get your basics and fundamentals right, and then you can concentrate on giving a good solid sound on the violin. But again, I know you're going to be looking or trying to work out, remember a lot of things, and there is a lot of things that is going on, with the fingers and intonation and holding and blah, 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 reading the music, working out the notes, etc., etc. A lot of people then just don't focus on a nice, good quality sound that is coming from the violin. So there we go. 3 kind of simple mistakes that I think newbie violinists make. If you like this kind of video, let me know, or let me know in the comments underneath if you're having any issues with anything. Maybe I can address that in a future video. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.